Welcome to Heroes Manufactured Movie Minutes. I'm your host, Philip Moran, and today we're going to be covering an incredible issue and topic regarding the MCU and their plans in launching the movies and TV shows in 2020 to 22. Today on my show, I have Yaron Batan, who's going to discuss with me all the particulars. Welcome, Yaron Batan.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Philip? Thanks for having me on your show. Thanks for having me on your show again. Marvel MCU. This is the one thing everyone loves to talk about whenever I'm out, talking to friends about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Everyone wants to know what's happening next. But yeah, man, I'm thrilled that you're doing this episode. I mean, this is episode 4 of Heroes Manufactured Movie Minutes. So, great job with all your other episodes. But yeah, we can get into it. I have some questions. I know that you're the expert here with this. But with regards to the MCU and Marvel Phase 4, starting out, which movie are they choosing first? I guess why, and tell us a little bit about. I have a timeline here, to start us off.
That's a great question. I know for sure they're starting with Black Widow.
Okay.
As you know, she died in Endgame, and that sort of brought us back to the Captain America Civil War time. So she's dead in present day, but she's alive in Captain America Civil time between that and the Infinity War. So we got this great movie with great actors, including Red Guardian. And Yelena Belova plays her sister, which in turn there's a whole thing about her becoming the next Black Widow. So it's an incredible lineup.
Great. No, it looks amazing. I know we covered it in one of our episodes here on Movie Minutes. So definitely, I'll tell our viewers, check that out if you want to get more information on Black Widow. You got some great actors there. So I'm quite stoked about Black Widow. Everything that Scarlett Johansson has done with the character over the years is absolutely amazing. And I think just seeing her in action in her own solo movie, I think that's going to be pretty cool, pretty engaging. And the fact that we get to see where she came from, her family, that's pretty cool. So, on the next show, project that they're...
Well, I just want to say that's a great thing about the MCU is that it's this big franchise that has all these small franchises, all these standalone movies with all these special characters with their own storylines that always sort of arch into other storylines and other movies in the same universe. So it's an incredible series of movies and TV shows that are all intertwined in the same universe.
Yeah, and it really is like that. Every character is just amazing. Now, with regards to the next show that they have, they're actually going to bring out a series, right?
It's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, yeah, that's the one right there. And I know, Philip, you and I were both in San Diego when they released this information, shooting Heroes Manufactured, Creators Unleashed. They had Angelina Jolie out. They had all these different celebrities. We'll get into that shortly. But with regards to the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan will be definitely heroes in this TV show, and it sort of starts from the end game, and where Captain America sort of goes into the past and then comes back as a very old man, and then he has to give his Captain America title to Anthony Mackie, and this is where Captain America, the new Captain America, will start, and Sebastian Stan will play the Winter Soldier, and he's done a very good job in the past. So I'm very excited to be watching for this.
Yeah, it looks pretty engaging. Again, I'm going to show this image again. We all know Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, but just like in the comic books, he's taken over the role of Captain America, which is going to be awesome to finally see him as Cap, the new Cap that we all wanted to see, and having him side by side with the Winter Soldier will be interesting because the Winter Soldier still has that dark past, right? At
first, the Falcon was not going to be the Captain America; it was going to be the Winter Soldier. But then, after much discussion and debate, then we come up with this sort of a dual team.
Yeah, no, that's it looks like it's gonna be a hit, definitely as a TV series. I mean, and if they,
I'm,
if who knows, like it could be another. Again, a lot of this is speculation, it's rumors, but who knows what could happen after? Like a lot of these can spin off into their own movies again, or other sub series. I mean,
well,
Marvel's
that's a
doing it
great thing
right.
that's a great thing about the MCU. I mean, they're really bringing in a lot of the characters. As you know, they're all inspired by the comic books, and so the stories change a bit here and there, but the inspiration does come from the comic books. And they're pulling all these characters from the comic books and they're putting them into these TV series and these movies, and they're all coming to life, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, with regards to like, I mean, for this TV lineup, it seems like it's definitely going to be pretty big out there. I mean, again, this is 2020 to 2022. You were saying, right?
Yeah, the Falcon will probably actually they're saying, yeah, 2021 probably 2000.
Yeah, I mean, with COVID, I mean, even my map here that I
Yeah,
showed just
yeah,
before, again, I want to say this to everyone, the viewers: speculation, rumors, like they've got some
yeah.
dates even wrong here because there's
Absolutely, absolutely. It's all
yeah.
speculation. It's all rumors. It's all. I mean, anything can change anytime based on what happens if they have the timing confliction, or they have actors have confliction in different projects, and I mean things can always change. This is just a general map of what they've decided, but it's not really cut in stone.
No, of course. I mean, they even have some of the dates wrong here from what I've seen. I know that they didn't even include Spider-Man 3 when we were at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Now that's been kind of a new thing. But anyways, we'll go back to kind of
that's
our
an
order.
incredible subject altogether as well.
Yeah, and it really is, and that's the thing. Like, with regards to like the next release that they were kind of discussing in there, I know they were looking at the Eternals. That's going to be another.
Oh, that's a great movie. Definitely bringing in a lot of great cast like Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, Kit Harington, the Black Knight. I mean, we've got some really good, solid players here,
And we don't even know if they've casted him yet. I mean, it's still again speculation. They've changed things before where they've announced certain guys and then all of a sudden,
yeah, yeah.
like
I mean,
I think Kid Harrington would be a great Black Knight. I mean, he's definitely got the charisma.
absolutely. He's got that sort of look, like the it's sort of like on a horse, sword, that kind of thing. The hair, the beard.
And the thing is, like, he was rumored to be even Wolverine at one point. Like, it's interesting because I mean, I always thought he would be great. After watching him from Game of Thrones, I thought he would be definitely great for the MCU. Just in what capacity? I personally didn't want to see him as Wolverine, even though I love him as an actor. Just didn't want to see him as Wolverine, right? But
Well, that's the thing. We always sort of, we sort of get used to like Captain America. Like, who can we see as Captain America again? We love Captain America as Captain. I mean, Chris, right?
Chris Evans.
It's amazing. Exactly, exactly. So we're still, it's not just movies for us. We're sort of falling in love with the characters and the actors that play the characters.
Exactly.
Batman and Superman and like in all these different movies and stuff. So I mean, but the Eternals is a very interesting sort of movie. We have a lot of different plots and storylines with this movie. They are aliens that's super inhumans that sort of have these powers and they're eternal.
They're celestials, right? They're celestial beings that, and it's based off the comics too, which Jack Kirby, a very well-known comic book artist,
Absolutely.
Put together. He's one of the original Marvel guys. Helped start Marvel with Stan Lee, at least the Marvel we all know today and love.
Absolutely. He's an incredible artist, and but this movie sort of is almost like a portal for a lot of things yet to come in the MCU because we have, like you said, the aliens, the Celestials that eventually there's supposed to be like an alien invasion on Earth or something. So and they say that the future Thanos. When he was a baby, when he was growing up, he was sort of part of the Eternals as well, and part of the Deviants.
Kind of following some of the storylines behind Guardians of the Galaxy.
So much information. You're right.
Yeah, they touch on that in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I mean, Ego was one of the characters there that was a celestial being. The place Nowhere, which is like a massive head skull, was the skull of a celestial. So we'll probably find out how that head got there in the Eternals. Because the good thing about Marvel, and this is probably why I feel like they're even Black Widow is going to be. I honestly think it's going to be more set in the past, because they play with the back and forth timeline. The Eternals to me feels like it's going to be a movie about the past, about how it all started. How these cosmic powers came about, and I think that's going to be the real push and drive of these movies. I mean, if you again, love showing this image, but you look at these things are monster like on every level. I mean, they're like, even if Pacific Rim doesn't even come up to this level, right? So,
the Celestials have been introduced in Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you remember, like and the Skrulls, some sort of alien sort of adaptation there.
Yeah, and they were in Captain Marvel, so that was awesome to see them.
Yeah, so I think this is an incredible thing by the MCU, because it just gives them more and more and more to put, and more to go.
More depth
without and expansion, an incredible expansion throughout the TV shows and the movies. They're definitely pulling from the comic books, and the comic books have so much more that hasn't been done yet in the real life movies. So we have years and years and years of MCU releases. It's just incredible stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, there's again, even after the Eternals, there's more. I mean, they're talking now about releasing WandaVision, which is another show. Which is, I know at one point they were talking about canceling it or pushing it, but now it's like a definite thing from what they're saying. So I mean, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely, she's amazing.
Elizabeth Olsen really pulled off, Wanda, because I always felt, when I first figured out that she was an Olsen sister, with her sisters from Full House, I was just like, wow, I wonder if she's going to be able to pull it off. But then I saw a few movies, and she did a great job. I feel she's a better actress in many ways, than her sisters. But her and Paul.
But also you have Catherine Hahn that's in this thing, and she's an incredible actress. She works all the time.
Catherine Hahn? Tell me a little bit about Catherine.
Well, I mean, she's done a lot of different TV shows and stuff. I mean, you might remember from Bad Moms and and Mrs. Fletcher and Parks.
She's a known.
Oh yeah. She hasn't been a main player, I think, for the most part. But when you're acting with her, based on what I've seen, I mean, she really knows her stuff. She knows how to really create the relationships with the actors and stuff. So she, it's not a surprise to me that she's in this,
it's interesting because when they cast a lot of these actors, the one thing I was told is that Marvel and Disney in general, they try not to bring A-list actors. They try to bring actors that are known, recognizable, but that they want to give them a chance. So I'm quite surprised they actually brought Angelina Jolie, because she either took a pay cut or she just did something really good and something different. So I mean,
I think it's all about satisfaction. I think the actors are looking for something to sink their teeth in, to be more satisfied. They're not stupid. They see the MCU's creating these movies. They see the fact that it comes from the comic books. They see the fact that there's, the last 46.
They'll see the long-term royalties, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But out of the last 46 movies in all of history that have grossed $1 billion, 9 of them have been from the MCU.
Wow.
9 of them. They've done about 23 in total so far. All of them combined have averaged just under $1 billion for each movie release.
That's huge. So, I mean, this lineup alone, you're gonna see. This is gonna definitely add some into that. Without
absolutely.
Without a doubt. I'm honestly amazed to see this whenever it comes out. Oh yeah.
I'm stoked. I mean, the more I study this, the more I sort of get more inspired, get more happy, because it's just. They really done some really good work.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And that brings me also to this next one. I know you mentioned Shang-Chi. That's going to be a big movie.
It's the first Asian-led hero MCU movie, and it's definitely something that also sort of ties in with other movies and other universes as well, as you'll see in the future with the 10 rings and stuff. It does present the real Mandarin, I'm told, and from what I've learned. So we're very, very interested in seeing who the real Mandarin is, because we haven't got a chance to see the real Mandarin. We had a little glimpse in Iron Man, but that wasn't the real Mandarin. So this is a very interesting movie. It sort of opens up the what's it called? The international, the global sort of different race aspect. It makes everything sort of accessible
more unified.
To anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the first movie. I mean, like the what's it called? The actor himself, waited for so long.
Yes, Simu Liu, who's a Canadian actor. Actually, I want to mention.
Absolutely. He's a Canadian actor
from Convenience, right?
Yeah. And he waited so long for this to happen. It wasn't going to happen. It was going to happen. So, I mean, it's a lot of movement going on as well within these movies, making it really friendly for a lot of different people from different countries, whether different genders and different sexual preferences as well.
Orientations, yeah.
It's incredible.
That being said, also, I mean, like, because it's interesting, because that's going to be an actual movie. You're going to have to go to cinemas to see that. It's not going to be, a series or anything. Shang-Chi. It looks
going to be a good movie.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and I hear there's going to be some kind of connection, maybe to the Doctor Strange universe, multiverse. Who knows, really? I mean, there's going to be some interesting explanation there.
Because of that Mandarin aspect, it'll definitely tie into different things. Maybe Doctor Strange, maybe the Avengers. I mean,
maybe the X-Men. Some people were talking about the X-Men, maybe Wolverine, maybe. So there's a lot of different aspects to this, because there's definitely some X-Men, from the Orient, who would be perfect to fit into that movie. Psylocke is an X-Men character. If you can bring her into the MCU, maybe they want to do it that way.
The Professor would be great as well.
yeah, the Professor. I mean, it'd be interesting just because it does. Like, who knows? At that point, they may be discussing more mutants.
It opens up everything. I tell you, they've connected all their dots.
And the one thing, though, the MCU tends to drift sometimes away from the comic book. So who knows what we're gonna actually see there and how they're gonna retell the story. So.
Yeah, they do sort of change a few things here and there, like as you know, Thanos in the movie with the Infinity Wars and stuff was basically trying to create a better world, And in the comic books, he's basically doing over a girl, He's doing things over a girl. So they change things a bit, but you know what? Over and all, I mean, the inspiration comes from the comic books.
No, for sure, and that also brings me into this next villain, because you just mentioned Thanos, but Loki, another TV series they're planning to put out through Disney Plus, which is incredible. I mean, the fact that Disney Plus is already involved on a lot of these things. I mean,
Tom Hiddleston is definitely a great character actor, and I mean, as we see more of the Thors and more of the other movies going forward, he was becoming a better main actor as well. But he definitely has the skills to play this, and this new TV show is going to really sort of answer a lot of questions about Loki, and every time he disappears and he goes places, and where he's been, what he's been up to and stuff. So I'm pretty interested in watching this as well, because it's going to answer a lot of questions. Of course, it's going to tie into a lot of other movies and timelines and storylines as well. So it's just all tied in somehow.
No, for sure. And I mean, that brings me also, like, because I mean, he's always been an interesting character to follow in the Avengers films, and in the Thor films. He's always been a really unique villain, because as much as you hate him, he's one of those villains you love to hate, but you hate to love as well, because you're not sure. You're really mixed.
Absolutely,
with emotions with him, and he brings a lot of comedy to the films too. I mean, the one thing in Thor, Ragnarok, those scenes with him and Chris Hemsworth were just priceless, right? Like he was.
Well, they were better because he was becoming a more family-oriented Loki instead of a villain.
And it shows you the versatility of the actor. Like to me, I think he's such
he sacrificed his life too, right?
Yeah,
like he sacrificed his life for his brother.
Out of all the things, he sacrificed himself for his brother.
I mean,
or we may, who knows what's going to happen? Like again, I don't
know.
I think it's going to be a show based on the past because I think he does die in Endgame, but I mean, maybe this is a continuation. Maybe he comes back to life.
In 2010 or 12, I'm not sure, when they went back into the past. Captain America and all the crew went back into the past, and Loki ended up getting that stone, that shiny stone, whatever it was, and he disappeared.
The blue stone.
He disappeared. So basically, he disappeared somewhere, and he was safe, right? So possibly there's two different Lokis, created just like two different Thanos in the Infinity Wars and stuff. So, but what I'm really excited and sort of concerned about is that they're bringing in actors like Owen Wilson into this.
Really? Wow.
Now, Owen Wilson, I mean, he's an actor. He's an A-list actor, right? In my opinion.
Into the Loki show. Wow.
Into the Loki, exactly. And Owen Wilson. But the thing is that the MCU is doing this. They're bringing in all these actors, that we know and love from just regular TV shows and movies. So they're going to be like part of a superhero sort of franchise movie thing, and we're going to lose these big actors that are normally doing these other movies and TV shows, romance and all this other stuff, because we'll just see them as the characters that they become. Wow. So interesting, right?
It sounds awesome. Again, a lot of this I'm assuming still speculation. Like they haven't probably even shot this yet, but I mean, if they're bringing Owen Wilson into it, that sounds like a pretty cool idea. I mean, who knows? He could be a relative. He could just be a nobody. I mean, Owen Wilson's an interesting guy to follow. So, I mean, I'm stoked about that for sure.
Absolutely.
And then, so the next kind of film that they were talking about was bringing back Spider-Man for Spider-Man 3.
Ooh, Spider-Man almost didn't make it. I mean, between Disney and Sony, we had a lot of conflictions, but thank God they decided. And Spider-Man, not only did he get to be part of the MCU, but also he is working also with Sony.
Wow.
I've been hearing. So he's got about 6 or something projects on as part of their contract. So he's here to stay, definitely, and Tom Holland's back in that as well. But again, there's 6, and then we don't know what kind of storylines, what kind of interactions with other universes and other movies we're gonna have. So,
well, he's always been a fun character. I mean, the Spider-Man, he's pulled it off in the first 2, in Homecoming and Far From Home. He's absolutely a great performer, and I'd love to see him in a new one and a third one. Who knows what happens at this point, where it actually takes place. Obviously, it's going to be after Endgame because the last one was after Endgame, which was interesting that they moved past Endgame.
Well, the last time I think Far From Home, they they exposed him, basically who he was. Do you remember that? Like they exposed him, so he has basically some things to sort of deal with.
Well, I have a feeling personally there's going to be some kind of a reintroduction of Iron Man in the third one. Call it a hunch, but I mean, if they had Iron Man in the first 2 movies, whether it was even just a flashback in the last one, I feel like they got to bring back Iron Man one way or another into this third film, which, whether he's going to be alive or not, that's one thing. But, that I'm hoping, hey, why not reprise the role and bring him back? But
I think I did see something with him in it. I'm not sure what it was called.
Again, it could be a mission that he sent them on from years ago, the lost mission or God knows what. But I mean, having that having Tony Stark there would be really awesome to see again. So I hope they do something with Spider-Man 3. Another interesting series I want to bring into discussion is one that they mentioned. What If, and I followed the What Ifs comics as a kid back in the 80s. This is What If. It's a big series that's coming out, and it's an animated series, right?
It's an animated, yep, and it's just basically, from what I gather, it's just what if. What if this happened? What if that happened? We get to visit a lot of different things that we've seen in the movies, we've seen in the different MCU products that they've put out, and just different twists to things, I think. And so it's going to be humorous. It's going to be comedic, but it's also going to it be insightful as well. This could also give them good ideas as well.
I feel like it's going to definitely play on the multiverse aspect of Marvel, of the MCU, of the Marvel comic universe, and I think that what's going to be really interesting here is that what if Iron Man wasn't the guy who who did the final snap and killed Thanos? What if it was someone else? What if it was Thor? What if it was this guy? What if it was Doctor Strange? There's so many what ifs, and I know that there was a trailer released not that long ago highlighting the story, so I won't ruin it for you. If you guys want to go check it out, definitely check out. There was a trailer about that. But again, who knows when it's going to be released. Right now with COVID and everything, it's definitely taken a toll on a lot of what their plans were and what they are.
But you have to understand something too, right? I mean, the Avengers are now sort of dormant, basically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of threats out there. There's a lot of things that are going to happen because they've allowed this space for things to happen, for things to sort of be created. So yeah, we may not see the Avengers, but we may see part of the Avengers in different places, in different universes, and different sort of plots and storylines. So it's
and that's what I love about what they're doing. They're doing it right in that sense. They're bringing the characters together. And I mean, I'm a guy who watched the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've always followed the storylines, watched every episode, every season thus far. Still have to watch this newest season, so the latest season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, one thing I want to say, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, they say that it's supposed to be scheduled for a lot later, but it might be scheduled for a lot sooner because Yelena Belova, the sister of Natasha. Now she sort of is the same thing as Natasha. She's from the Red Room. She's killed a lot of people. This and that, and and Thunderbolt's supposed to be a way for her to sort of redeem herself.
Yeah, and I think Winter Soldier is part of that as well, right? Like there's a whole Soviet Winter Soldier thing.
So there could be a Thunderbolt movie. There could be, and she could be the one that could be the main hero in that, as opposed to seeing her as a next Black Widow.
Yeah, that will be an interesting twist. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do with that? And then there's a couple more movies and the show, but that I have here. So I do have the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which was also spoken about at the San Diego Comic-Con when we were there. This thing just sounds amazing. I mean, the fact
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I mean, we all loved Doctor Strange in the Marvel movies that have been out. The Avengers and the Doctor Strange movie itself was awesome.
Absolutely, we have Elizabeth Olsen on there as well. So
coming back.
I mean, yeah. She's there, and Chiwetel Ejiofor or something like that. I can't really pronounce the name. Sorry, but he's coming back. So he can sort of deal with things with Doctor Strange. But that movie sort of definitely, Doctor Strange takes Elizabeth under his belt and stuff, and sort of he's a good teacher, and that's what he likes to do.
That would be an interesting team up. Like definitely as a team up, Marvel had these comics back in the 70s, 80s, Marvel team up. So I mean, to me that's kind of what they're doing now. Even with WandaVision, you see that. Even with Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's team up type shows, type movies that are gonna make it and break it. And it's really unique what they're doing. I feel like they're definitely expanding on the storyline, on the plot lines. I'd love to see more Doctor Strange movies. I mean, he's Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a great actor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great actor, and
actor, and he really knows how to be Doctor Strange. I mean, at first when I watched the movie, I kind of didn't know if I liked him as the actor. I didn't know if he would play the role properly. But then when I watched Endgame, I was like, wow, this guy is Doctor Strange. He's living, breathing the actor, the character.
Here's some information you may not know, but Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, in the first one was not allowed to put any of his input.
Yeah.
Now, this new movie is the first of the MCU that's a horror genre. And he's definitely putting some more information. He's bringing in some more of his ideas into this movie. So we're gonna really see what's in the mind of Benedict.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be interesting is I have a feeling that I don't know if it was this specific movie, but they were talking about even bringing Ghost Rider out of these and a lot of the characters that we know, from previous movies with Nicolas Cage and all that. But it would be cool to see a new Ghost Rider, and who knows if Doctor Strange is going to tap into that. I have a feeling there's definitely going to be some connections there, just because he deals with the mystical world, and Ghost Rider comes from that world, and a lot of other characters do. So I mean,
Blade, and then there's Blade too. I think.
Blade was another one that was discussed. I know that they mentioned that in the original when we were there, and again, there's still we don't know what's happening with Blade right now. It's a kind of a limbo, right?
I have heard that it may not be Wesley Snipes that plays Blade.
No, it's definitely not Wesley Snipes. It's a guy from Moonlight. Forgot his name, so my bad. But
he did the one about the book or something, the Green Book.
The Green Book. Great movie.
The African American actor from the Green Book.
Yeah, we're horrible. We're forgetting names. There's so many names to remember, though.
Listen,
so many different actors.
It's gonna all change. We're just trying to create a little timeline for people so they can understand what's going on,
and what?
Just keep them updated.
There's so much that we're gonna continue to the next one. Hawkeye, right? That's
Hawkeye.
There's just more and more for Phase 4.
So a lot of these actors are giving away their thrones basically. As you know, Thor is giving up Thor, and Natalie Portman is going to become the Thor in that movie. Hawkeye is going to be training Kate Bishop, who will become the next Hawkeye as well. So we have a lot of different.
And Jeremy Renner again, great actor, played the role in amazing ways. So it'll be interesting because the Hawkeye logo. I mean, that's from like the most recent comics that they
bullseye. It's a bullseye.
Yeah, but it also reflects the logo from the recent comics that were coming out in the last couple of years, and a lot of the newer comics, they feature his daughter who takes over as the new Hawkeye, and there's also Old Man Hawkeye who with Old Man Logan, they kind of explore the world in the comics. So I mean, I'm wondering if they're gonna play on that by the time it comes out. It's scheduled pretty late in the game, so I mean, if you see here,
well, we saw a bit of it, him playing Logan in one of the movies that we just sort of finished.
Yeah.
I think it was the Endgame, or was it the Infinity War? I can't remember.
Sorry, which one was it?
He played. We saw a glimpse of him as Logan.
No, you mean Ronan? Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Ronan. Logan's the other one. Yeah, no. So he played Ronan in definitely in Endgame, which was amazing to see. Yeah. So I mean, it might touch on that again. I think Ronan might be featured in Black Widow only because there was kind of a connection to him in the Red Guardian. So I have a feeling they'll do that a little bit earlier.
What happened in Budapest? Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, I think it's going to touch on that relationship between Black Widow and Hawkeye. So there might be some moments where Natasha comes out, meets with Hawkeye. There might be some interesting episodes where she comes out,
right? And Ronan is the one that sort of recruited.
Black
Widow.
I have a feeling that Hawkeye is going to be like, I think the reason they're pushing the dates is because there's so many different aspects to Hawkeye on a timeline level that he's a survivor in the comics. So I'm and it seems that way in the movies too. So I mean,
he's the only one that has a family.
He's the only one that has a family. He doesn't have actual powers, right? Like he's just skilled. He's like Batman. He's super skilled. And that's why I think, same with Red Guardian, it's the same type of thing. So I think there's going to be something there, which will definitely be interesting, will be unique. And again, like I said, there is a connection to Hawkeye and Old Man Logan as they get older in the comic books. To many of you that have read Old Man Logan, Old Man Hawkeye is another series that they have. So, I mean, it's pretty big. It's pretty cool, and I can't wait to see it.
Again, yeah, he just sort of he can be in different other movies and storylines as well because, as I remember him and Elizabeth Olsen being very very strong supporters of each other, and I think she even protected him at one point in the movie.
There's one other thing that I want to mention, that even in the Ronin character that he played, if you watch Endgame in Japan, the actor, I believe the actor that played there was like an Asian Yakuza guy that he kills in the movie, and I'm pretty sure he was a villain in actual the Wolverine movie. So you never know what Marvel actually did. Yeah.
Wow. It's all intertwined
with that. And I still question that scene today. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was anything of it. They just probably casted him because he was a good actor. Like, oh, you already in a Marvel, MCU movie. Let's bring you into this and try and because it happens I think in Japan, which Wolverine comes to in the Wolverine. So there's probably a bigger connection there. There is a connection to Hawkeye and Wolverine in the comics. I feel like they're going to explore that. I really hope they do because that would be so awesome. And now, because we don't have a lot of time left, I'm going to go into the last one, Peter. But Thor: Love and Thunder. This looks amazing.
Oh, okay. So we sort of gave a little snippet, but yeah, Thor does lose his crown to Natalie Portman, who becomes the new Thor. But this is an interesting movie because, I mean, Thor is usually the main person on here. And the last time we saw Thor, he jumped on with Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to lead them or not. And we did see that Tessa Thompson, who is the first LGBTQ in the MCU, and is going to be the first queen, the first king that's going to be looking for a queen. So she's going to be running where Thor's from. My bad.
It's not, too many. Yeah, too many.
Exactly. But it's incredible because we saw in the last movie where Thor gave her the opportunity to do that. And Thor just went off and joined the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm not sure how this movie is going to play out. His contract ran out anyway at the end of Endgame. So yeah, I'm curious to see what his career is going to, how his career is going to be. Like where it's going to take off to.
After. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth is amazing. He's done a great job with the character of Thor. I think the movie is going to be great in many aspects because I feel like what's going to be unique about it is that Natalie Portman is coming back as Jane Foster. But again, a lot of speculation that she's going to probably be the new Thor, which would be cool to see. I mean, who knows what it's – I feel like just watching this image is going to be like a ballad song. The 80s.
Christian Bale, Idris Elba, and Jeff Goldblum, and I mean, these are big time players, and they're definitely going to bring a lot to the table when it comes to that movie. So
it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an interesting movie. But I mean, that's it. I think with regards to the MCU Phase 4, that's kind of what this is. Again, a map here. I just want to show us again. This is like a COVID-19 update, and even this as an update isn't really extremely accurate. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what movies are going to show first, how they're going to have to modify their timeline, because they've already modified their timeline a couple of times already. Probably more than that, even from what I know. So,
well, I'm convinced the Black Widow will definitely start it all off. And, she's been waiting for this. It's her own standalone movie. Yep. And it's going to be incredible for her.
Interesting, because you think that, but right here they're showing, like, if you look at the Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're showing August and then November of 2020. Which are they planning to release the Falcon first?
Well, no. Black Widow is supposed to be sometime in May, I think, and then they pushed it to November. So basically, Black Widow always started at first. I mean, Winter Soldier is going to be in 2021. Or something like that, the beginning, and then there's, like all the other Eternals. These are big projects. The good thing is, to my recollection, that the actors don't cross over. Instead of for Elizabeth Olsen, which works in two different or three different sort of projects, but all the actors are basically doing their own TV show and movie. So we're not having anyone sort of crossover into different projects that they've listed there. So they can actually accomplish exactly what's on that list.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one last thing I was going to mention, because you mentioned with Thor, Love and Thunder, and it came to me. I don't know why I forgot, but Asgard.
That's it.
Is Thor's homeland. So many places in the MCU you just start to forget sometimes, but
she will be the queen, the king, whatever. Yeah.
But the really unique thing about Asgard is that there's a book called Asgardians of the Galaxy, and he actually mentions it in Guardians part 2. So, it was actually Endgame. So I mean that was, if I recall correctly, it was Endgame. But
I remember hearing it.
That to me was pretty cool that they mentioned that, because the third one could be called Asgardians of the Galaxy, and that could just be the name of the Volume 3. That would be awesome in itself, and I think I just can't wait to see what Marvel is going to do next. You mentioned there's even talks now about Phase 5 to me, and we won't get into that now, but but there's so much, right? There's just so much. It's unbelievable.
We'll definitely have to sort of see where things go, and keep all our viewers up to date, all the audience up to date, it's a pretty exciting lineup. It's they're definitely coming through with providing what the audience wants and expects. It's a win-win-win situation in my books.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I mean, like. This episode alone, just to go through Phase 4, took us 43 minutes. I'm just looking at my time right now.
It's exciting. We start off by saying it's going to be a long one, because
it is, because
there's so much more that we can say about it. But
Phase 4, I mean, if you want to talk about Phase 4, you got to talk about it, right? There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to remember, and it's just like I'm stoked. To see the fact that they're doing this. It's impressive, and the fact that they want to already talk about Phase 5. That's impressive. It's just unbelievable.
But it's not just the movies and the TV shows. This is going to support all the different comic books and comic book superheroes, and it's going to support the whole industry in general. And as you know, like, we were at the San Diego Comic Cons, all over the Comic Cons and Fan Expos, all over, like, for the last year and a half. So and we saw incredible big things. So I mean,
they've got big plans.
Yeah, this is definitely going to add to, not just the comic book industry, but also superheroes and artists in general. They're going to really start to open up and start to create, even more characters, and maybe characters will come in from that were sort of dormant for a long time. Now they're going to be coming in. I mean, we didn't talk about the villains.
Villains we'll talk about that next time. But yeah, I mean, again, thanks for having me on your show today, Philip. And
absolutely, it was great to have you on our show at Movie Minutes here on episode 4 with Philip Moran and Yoram Bitan. Be sure to catch us on all our social media, and give us some thumbs up, any kind of comments, so we can get back to you with the proper answer, or maybe create a video for you.
Yeah, and you guys check out below. There's a link to our YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe anytime. We like to do a lot of these banters and talks, so if you ever want to watch more of these discussions, definitely check us out. Subscribe today. Just subscribe to our Facebook channel. And a couple of quick things, Philip. This week, I just want to mention one more thing. I'm thinking this week or next week we're gonna have the show on Amazon Prime. It should be any day now, from what I was.
Which show is it? Which show is it?
Heroes Manufactured, Creators Unleashed, hosted by Philip Moran. So it's going to be an awesome show.
And directed by Yaran Batan. We did a great job. It was over a year and a half. We put a lot of work, a lot of time into it, and people can only sort of realize, guess what we had to go through to make this. But we definitely did a good job. We completed it. Now we're on our online series. So I'm pretty excited, and Amazon Prime is definitely the right place to go.
For sure. All right, Philip. Well, thanks again, eh?
Absolutely, and thanks guys for watching. And again, this is Heroes Manufactured Movie Minutes, and I'm your host Philip Moran. That's Yaran Batan, and we're definitely always having experts on our show to talk about the comic book world, comic book superheroes, and the movies of MCU. And anything related to the MCU and its plans for the future. So thanks again for being on our show.
Thank you. Take care, guys.